Hello? Hello? Can you guys see me? Am I invisible? On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the pain that creatives feel when they put out something really cool, but it just feels like nobody can even see you. And what else we're going to be talking about is not only are you going to be seen, but you can monetize it. We've got a special guest with us today. Stick around with us. Hey.
Hi.
How are you guys doing this week?
Terrific Tuesday, ladies. So glad to be here with you.
So I'm super excited about this episode because I hear this a lot from music artists. You know, I'm putting out all this cool music, I'm posting it, but it seems like no one is listening. No one hears it.
Yeah. That is a crying shame. There is so much talent in the world, so it's not about talent for sure. People need to have a strategy to be seen and heard, and we're all trying to find that, right?
Ooh, they
And
just need to listen to us today because we're going to start talking about it.
I can't wait to see what Minesh has to say.
Well, let's bring him on, shall we?
Come on now.
Hey, Minesh, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Well, you got a fantastic start of the show. I was so impressed. I was like, wow, you ladies rock. I love the fact that you're talking about how to take the burnout to a burning desire. I think that's a phenomenal way of putting it. And the crackles and it was fun. I really enjoyed it. So you ladies are doing a great job.
Oh,
Thank you.
well, Minesh, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit more about you and what you do?
Thank you so much. So first of all, it's an honor to be on this live stream here with three wonderful ladies here. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh,
Wendy,
wait.
Francine, and
We've got another one. Daisy's here too.
And Daisy the fur baby.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you
yay!
for letting me know that. And so I've been a business coach for 25 years and I've published 12 books. My goal has been very simple. My goal has been to excite and empower people so they can achieve the dreams that they want, which sounds like exactly what you're trying to accomplish and help creative artists do that as well. Does it sound like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we are in total alignment of helping people. So for those who don't know much about me, I was born in Agra, a city which is where Taj Mahal is. So if you remember nothing from my talk, but you remember, hey, I heard that weird accent from Taj Mahal. Yep, you remember that, right? And I was born in India. I grew up there, did my bachelor's, and so on and so forth. And then I came to US, became a computer programmer. Now, here is the part. I hated my job. Now, how many people who are watching, listening right now, at some point hated the drudgery of Monday mornings? I had a 45-minute commute and so on and so forth. And
Me
eventually,
too.
yeah, eventually my boss laid me off, fired me, or whatever you want to call that at the point where I had to start reinventing myself. Now, I had been paying a lot of attention to learning about speaking, writing, and so on and so forth already, but it took a long time before I actually got some traction. And that's the reason why I decided, hey, I wanted to be using speaking, a platform to reach out and talk to more people and hence inspire them to lead a life that they really, really want, because most often fear is stopping us. And that's really the bottom line. My goal today is to help speakers find stages and monetize them.
I
Yeah,
love that.
I mean,
Sign me up.
public speaking, you are standing in front of, on a stage in front of a ton of people. So, I mean, I feel like I would be seen at that point. But man, like it just seems like a big step. How do you even get started in something like that?
Well, I think you ladies have a great project that I totally support. Most people have heard the word that an author creates authority, right? And by being a published author, would you like me to share 2 minutes about my journey trying to write my first book?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was told I flew to California to attend a 2 day conference on. They said, "Hey, Minesh, you want to be a speaker? Write a book." And well, I started writing a book called Start, Starting, Stop, Stopping. Sounded like a great title for me, except the problem is I stopped.
Oh.
I didn't know where to go because I realized I didn't know exactly what to, do to publish or write my own book, which is when I invested in over $10,000, 2 years learning how to write and publish my book. And the first book I co-authored was Network Your Way to $100,000 and Beyond because I was coaching a client how to grow his networking group. I wrote another book called Stop Hiring Losers, and so on and so forth. Since then, I've published, and my goal has been very simple. It's like people want to have a message out to people. Writing a book like what your project is about is authors can be created to build authority. And I think that's a great place to start giving your message because now people pay more attention to you. Because when I say I've written a book called Stop Hiring Losers, people don't question what I know about the topic anymore. They're more like, can you tell me how not to hire losers, right? And I think that's a great place to start for visibility. Now, here is a challenge I think most people will run into, just like I did, is we think we don't need to be very public, very self-promotional. And I think if artists have that natural thing, say, if my music is good enough, if my content is good enough, people will automatically come. Well, that is not the case.
Right.
Robert Kiyosaki is told in his book, it's not, they don't call it the best written book, they call it the best selling book. So it's like,
Right.
ah,
Oh,
I need to
yeah.
focus on selling and not as much on writing. And that's, I think, everybody that I've been associated with who has been extremely successful has been more focused on taking their message to the marketplace than just focusing on the content because the marketplace will help you design and refine your content and message. Does it make sense what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, that's like an important foundational building block for all of us. That it's about the sales. And since see facts tell but stories sell. Let's sell you right now by you sharing us a success story that you like to brag about from results you were able to bring to a client that followed this advice you're sharing with us today.
Well, I can talk about a number of them, but let me just talk and brag about my own daughter.
Okay.
She has been mentored by me. I homeschooled my children. She's 21. And last year, she landed on the TEDx stage talking about her project. And in the last 4 years, so this is the journey that she went through. I told her at the age of 17 that she should start her own podcast. So she started her podcast called What Would You Say to Your Younger Self?
Hmm.
She had then interviewed after that 200 people, some of them very successful $1 million earners in different businesses who were sharing her knowledge in 15 minutes or less about how they started and where they ended up with. And then when we moved 3 years ago to Florida, another coach gave me a great idea and we started interviewing people. So she started interviewing people what I love about Flagler County. Okay.
Hmm.
Flagler County is where we live. And hence, what ended up happening is over the course of 6 months or so, she had interviewed over 100 people that now she had a local business connection. So people started using even the interview in Facebook ad. It's like, wow. So she became very visible very quickly. And one of the strategies which I recommend to a lot of people is start a podcast like your Restream and all that stuff that you are doing, because what ends up happening is it becomes a way to bridge the gap between you and the people you want to connect with. Now, those could be your prospects, could be your clients, could be your referral partners, could be the celebrities to write a forward to a book. It's like it could be any of those people. And then you go to them with a very specific ask. It's like, hey, I would love to promote you. Would you take 15 minutes to promote your message to my marketplace? Now, how many people would say no to that one, right?
No one with their right in their right mind.
Exactly. And that's an easy place to become visible because you are the one creating opportunity for other people. So my daughter's talk was about if you are being invisible, it's not them, it's you, because you haven't taken the time to build the relationship with people who are looking for your message, the people who can help you spread your message. And that's the first place to start with. And she was able to launch podcasting training and so on and so forth. Now she's the key person helping us in putting together TEDx in Lake Mary area, Orlando, and we had like 368 people apply for being on the stage. We have only 12 spots, and we've had some very successful people apply, people who have built up to $500 million company across the Atlantic Ocean in a rowboat, just like stuff like that. And the reason I mentioned that success story is very simple, is that my own daughter proving it in her context has been extremely helpful. Now she can be seen and also somebody who can monetize her message because she had something she did, she proved the concept and was able to go teach other people to do the same thing. And she has been able to help a lady in St. Augustine started her YouTube channel on cooking because that was the starting of her podcast. So I hope is that giving you the answer, Joanna, that you were looking for?
Absolutely. I just want to say hi to our other fur baby joining us in Heidi's lap, Miss Stormy. Hey. But you know what? That subject matter is so appropriate for a young person. So I there was such alignment with a youth asking people about messages for their younger self. And what I'm excited about is you parenting with purpose and with your daughter being a wonderful success story. And it's people like her who have put in the work to build influence that make fantastic affiliates for us. Because this is our first retreat. This is our first collaboration that we're inviting people to join us on. So you're filling my head with ideas. And I hope that other people who see you on our platform know, guess what? We believe, sisters, we know how to attract the best, high quality people who are hanging with us and giving us guidance so that we can be successful. And all of our boats are going to rise together. You hang with Heidi, Francine, Joanna, and Minesh. We're going to help you get to where you want to be. I just love it. So thank you. That the success stories are great.
And you know what else, guys?
Mhm.
Minesh has agreed to help us out in another way with our retreat and our anthology project. I was so excited about this. We're going to be talking about getting outside of your comfort zone and how you're going to feel more comfortable about that. And we're going to be doing fun stuff together at the retreat and taking pictures and getting in front of the video camera. And I mean, it's going to be like a whole hoot and holler and good time. But then after it's over, you're going to have a plan to go out and start figuring out how to become more noticeable. And one of those ways is by finding other podcasts that you can go speak on. And so, Minesh, do you want to take over for me there and tell us a little bit more about your podcast?
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So, one of the challenges a lot of speakers feel, they're good at what they do, but unfortunately, not everybody is able to find the right stage. And there are two extremes, I should say. The first extreme is people trying to find the stage on their own, sending out messages, calling people, and doing whatever else they can in order to get the attention they want. And it's a lot of work because, like, you have to get enough attention from the right people. And just like you might have mentioned, you apply or talk to somebody who's very successful or has a stage, but they don't know you well enough. So it's hard for them to see that you are going to be able to add value. So that's one extreme that people have to work through, and you get a lot of rejections and a lot of frustrations. The other extreme is unfortunately there are programs which are being promised where they will do it like they'll get you paid speaking gigs, and it sounds so fancy and fantastic. But the reality is, most companies will not do that for you, right? Unless your name is already well known, they won't really do anything for you. And if they do take money from you, then the likelihood of them actually providing you the right stage is very minimal, because unfortunately, they are more promising than delivering. So
Too
I,
good to be true.
yeah, if you have had experience, I know a lot of people who have spent thousands of dollars and they were excited about it until they found the list was a cold call list, right? So what I want to do for people is create a networking group of people who are professionals who have a great message to offer. And because in the last 25 years I've been able to connect with a lot of successful people who have a great message, I can now bring people together and help each other get on each other's stages as well as each other's connections. So for example, I spoke to a group last week, sorry, last month, because last week I was on a cruise, but last month I spoke to a group that is looking for speakers on a monthly basis. So again, they're not going to be re-inviting me for the next month because that's not the format. Now I can go to somebody, whether it is Francine, Joanna, or Heidi, and say, hey, you know what? Let me connect you with Dave. Dave is looking for speakers on a monthly basis for his group. And even though this may be not paid necessarily, but this is an opportunity to open doors with somebody who is putting these groups on, but also to be able to pitch, provide your product or service in a way that people will see the value and they want to build relationship with you. Because a lot of people are looking for, hey, how can I get paid just being on the platform? Which you can offer your program for $97 to $10,000 or $100,000. That's definitely feasible. But for most people, it is easier to get on a stage where they are speaking, relatively speaking, for free. When I say free, it's like they're not being paid directly at that moment, but they can be paid in a number of ways. Somebody may buy a book from you, somebody may give you some other bonuses, promote you on certain formats, etc. So again, you can always negotiate what you're going to get from it. But the reason I mention that is, even at the end of the free talk, you can simply say, hey, I have five open opportunities for people to have a one-on-one conversation with me who see this would be the next step to take. And then you have those five very highly qualified conversations, and then you can definitely find the right client for yourself. And I know one person told me about this, which was fantastic. This person was an MC, not even a speaker at an event, but by the time the event was done, the person had done a great job, networked with a few people, ended up with $12,000 a month marketing training gig. So that was,
Ooh.
again, we seem to forget that relationships will take some time, but people need to see your value before they will actually do business with you. And somehow in the social media world of, hey, if I send a DM, people should sign up for my stuff. It's like, no, that does not work, because at the end of the day, it's called a know, like, and trust factor. And maybe some of you might have heard of the 7-11-4. If you have heard of it, you know what I'm talking about, right? So most people don't know what that is. Would you like me to explain in like
Yeah,
30?
7,
Yeah.
11, 4. Break it down.
Thank you. So whether it is Google, Dunbar, whoever gets the credit, know, like, and trust is a formula-based process. If you knew the formula and you did it, you will build that. So 7 hours of content creation or interaction, 11 different interactions, and 4 different ways of the interaction. So people are like, Minesh, do I have to spend 7 hours? No, you personally don't have to, but if you have content, like if you're watching this right now, right, you are consuming content, you're going to YouTube, you're reading blogs, you're getting emails, you're on a webinar, etc. So there are different ways people are consuming the content. And once they have consumed roughly about 7 hours, they now feel that alignment with you. Okay, the 11 interactions, it could be not just one phone call, one in-person meeting, one Zoom, all different interactions, offline, online, 4 different ways. And now people feel more comfortable. It's like, I know Heidi really well. Yeah, Joanna, I love her energy there. Francine, I know you can provide some value. So what ends up happening is now people feel emotionally connected. So for example, how many of you feel close to a celebrity that you don't even know personally? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, definitely.
Lots of musicians out there. Yeah.
Me too.
Exactly. It's like, wow, I feel connected to this person, but I don't know this person directly. They don't know me directly. But the 7-11-4 concept was working in the background. Like people were crying, and some of you are too young to know, but Lady Di, when she died, Lady
Oh
Diana,
yeah. Oh yeah.
people in tears. They're like, you don't know her. Like, how come you are in tears about somebody who died? Well, because by watching her, by listening to her, by being, in the programs, news, and everywhere else, you had an emotional connection watching so many times that you felt that deeply enough that when something happened to her, you felt it emotionally as well. Does anybody understand where I'm coming from?
Absolutely. And I like the way you're using a great illustration. And that's what we, as creatives, as artists, as those with a message, authors and speakers who want to inspire people and lead them to the results that they desire, that is a formula we need to master. So I like the 7, the 11, the 4. And can I just take a moment to give a shout out to one of our viewers, Lizzie Lou Do Stickers? I'm not sure of her real name, but she said she cannot wait to soak up your wisdom. She says, yes, you are a powerhouse, Minesh, on our stage. I just want to thank you for that comment, Lizzie. She said she is inspired and ready. So this retreat is going to be fantastic because of people like you. You are a gorgeous a stitch in our tapestry, a rich, gorgeous tapestry that everyone is going to want to adorn themselves with so that they can beautify the world with their creative and artistic gifts.
How do you come
You
up with this imagery all the time, Joanna? Like, I've got this whole castle laid out in my brain right now after that.
Right? Hey, that's what we're here for.
I love
And so, how would you like for people to get in touch with you after? Now, of course, we're going to invite you to post in our online community, of course, because all of our guests, you get to make a post and engage with our people, with our nice little community. But then, how about directly? What do you recommend, Minesh?
Very simple. My email address is minesh@mbaxi.com. And if you are somebody who's serious about growing your business to the next level, you're just like, hey, Minesh, I would like to get to know you. Because to me, I like to have a short conversation with people to get to know them, at least understand who they are, what they're looking for. Because I think too many times we have been sold so much on the first call and stuff. It's like almost
Yes.
automatic to get on a call, right? And
Wow.
I don't like that. I personally like, hey, I'm not here to sell you. You're not here to sell me unless I obviously looked out for you or something like that. That's different. But other than that, I just want to know who you are. What are you looking for in life or goals that you have? And let's see if we have a way to help each other. If there is a way, great. Let's continue the conversation on a second part. But the first conversation is, hey, just get to know you. And that's, I think, the easy way to schedule a conversation with me and get on my calendar, because obviously you attract quality people like you are. And hence, the people that you bring to me, in order to, I would like to see if I can help them or refer them somebody or make a connection for them, maybe provide a resource for them. Because at some stage, if you have a great message, you want to reach out to more people, networking and referrals is going to be the best way. And when you curate the right connections within your community, we all can help each other, because I know you have something of value. You can help people, you can solve a problem for people, but they just don't know you yet. And that's what we need to do.
Well, we
I
just
love
have to
that.
give a really big shout out to our friend Sarah Pace, who referred you to me. And that's how this whole
Yay,
collaboration
Sarah.
thing happened.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
Sarah. We love you.
Thank you, Sarah. And I love how you share about the power of a conversation. So when we're selling from the stage, what we're doing, we're telling stories, we're sharing results, how we can solve different problems, and then we invite people to have a conversation with us. And then when we have a natural, organic connection, it's genuine, well, then it will result in someone saying, well, yes, how can I tap into your expertise, your methodology, so that you can help me? And so I love that natural way. I'm going to tag you in the Facebook stream, and that way people will just click on your name and then they can be connected with you further. That's one shortcut way.
Well, thank you for the gift. I really appreciate it. And Heidi, yes, Sarah, tomorrow in the BNI group that she belongs to, my daughter is her substitute because Sarah cannot make it tomorrow. So
All right.
All in the family.
we are helping people because we help each other, right? It's really the simple way to do that. I think the main point I want people to get across is very simple. It's like, hey, remember your message has meaning. There are people who are craving for your help. And if you remind yourself that and build a community of people who can help you reach out to those people, eventually the right people will be helped by you and their lives will be transformed because you had the courage to step out of your comfort zone.
Yes, absolutely. Courage it takes in community. If we don't have our own courage, let's borrow courage from someone in our community. How about that? Francine is a Toastmasters leader and speaker and author. She has a local book tour with her children's books. So, Francine, you've been quiet today. I want to give you the stage for a moment to, let us know what's resonated with you the most out of what Minesh has shared.
Well, a lot of this has resonated with me, but right now my brain is on what's happening next because we are going to give everybody a taste of what an idea incubator is all about. It's a cross between a mastermind and a brainstorm that will help Heidi focus on her idea that she's going to write about in the collaboration. So that's
Ooh.
where my mind is right now. But what I really liked about what Manesh said is he's really been echoing everything that we're saying. And I believe that the more people who say it in a different voice, the more people will start to understanding that what we're doing isn't anything new or different. It's a proven formula. We're just adding our flair and our personalities to it. And today we got another flair and personality out of Manesh to join the team.
Beautiful. That is so true. It's tried and true. We're not reinventing the wheel, but you can hop on this vehicle. Let's go for a ride together.
Chains pulling
Yeah.
out, choo choo.
Well, before we say goodbye to Minesh, Heidi, did you want to share about what's next for our
Yeah,
show?
I
You have
do. I was hoping that I could share the screen, but I'm looking for the this will do. This will do. It's still in Canva, but you can
That'll
see
work.
the thumbnail.
yay!
We've got Miriam Wright coming up next week. We're going to be talking about unclear revenue streams. That sounds interesting.
Yes, it does. I can't wait to hear about that one.
Yeah, how
Uh-huh.
can you get revenue if you're not even clear on it? That's
Right? Or, is that like the hidden like springs that hide under the water and then all of a sudden like it stops it's like pumping
Or
out?
could
Like,
that be the paycheck people get when they become an affiliate and share this experience with their friends?
Oh, see, look, mystery. What could it be? Well, this has been a lovely 30 minutes with you, Minesh. We have to wrap up. Let us remind you all. We thank you for watching. Remember that if you can conceive it, you can believe it and therefore achieve it. So from the head,
To the heart.
to the hands.
yes,
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 You
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 can.
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 Now don't go anywhere because we're
Woo!
going to do an idea incubator in just a minute.
Yes, we're switching to the idea incubator. Take care.
Manesh, you're welcome to stay. The more feedback, the better.
well, I think I have a commitment, but I appreciate your time and generosity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
So, Francine, just a question. There was a Zoom link or something that was associated with this or not?
Not for this one. There's another
Okay.
one coming up next week, and that will be in the Zoom environment. This is
Okay.
just a demonstration to show everybody what they will get if they come into the Zoom room and have their idea incubated. So let's start.
Ew.
Heidi,
I'm
you,
ready.
you told me that you have an idea for your book chapter and you just don't know how to really get it started, get it focused. So, can you explain your idea in 1 to 2 minutes?
I don't know if it's that organized to get in 1 to 2 minutes, but I'll give it a shot. Okay. So my mindset did hold me back considerably in my 20s and even my 30s. But that mindset got me landed down a bad path that I typically don't talk about. I think I've been on one person's podcast where we were talking about homelessness, where I talked about this. It's not easy to talk about. And in fact, right now I have like goosebumps because I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But when I was in my early 20s, I grew a bunch of marijuana in Wisconsin. And you know what? I got caught for that. And then I got a felony. And so I went through the legal system. And that pretty much ate most of my 20s. So in my story, when I talk about that I was 27 before finding out about limiting beliefs and before I found a life coach, that's because I was down a very, very, very dark road that the people around me were the furthest thing from a life coach. And in fact, I feel like most of the people that were in any kind of authority figure over me were trying to convince me to keep going down the dark road so we could spend some more time together. And I didn't want to hang out with them anymore. So I fought really hard to redeem myself, I guess I would call it, to become an upstanding citizen again. And I feel like this story needs to be told because other people screw up when they're young. And it really does throw off the course of your entire life for a while. And you have a choice to go in two directions. You can keep going down that dark road and keep making the same mistakes that got you there in the first place, or you can choose something different. And that was that crossroads where I was like, well, this way has been really hard and miserable. So what does easy look like? Could we try that? And it wasn't always easy to see the perspective. But that kind of thinking is what led me to a life coach, which led me to understand more about how I think about myself, other people, the situations that I'm in. And because of that, I realized that I had the power and the control really to do more than just be like a upstanding citizen, but I could really have impact and make a difference in the world for the people that I come in contact with. And that is the same for anybody that went through the same as me.
This story needs to be told. And the way you just presented it meets all the criteria for a good story. You introduced the character, young Heidi. You described the turmoil that young Heidi was in. You added that twist. Young Heidi went to jail. Then you insinuated on the homelessness as a result of that. And then you said, but there had to be something more. There had to be something different. And you gave the audience a tool. So that's you. The first third of your story is just how you got there, how you got in that situation. And you don't have to be very specific when you do it because people could imagine. Where you need to get specific is the next 2/3. How did you get out of it?
Yeah. Because I think everybody knows how they got into their bad place. I mean, when they really
Everybody,
look back at it, they're like, yeah, nobody needs to teach me about that. I got it.
everybody's seen that movie. But what we need to share is how do you overcome that? That's where the power in the story is.
Yeah,
There's a great
I agree.
arc, that story arc, that full circle. And you know what, too? Because we are workshopping and sharing our writing with each other, you can look for feedback because a lot of people, yeah, they like juicy and salacious details. And that might satisfy them if you do share some details into the causality. It just helps people to maybe relate more if they happen to have been on the inside, not visiting, of those bars. So you just never know. So you get feedback from us when you share, and we, as your peers, will let you know how
And you
that
know what?
makes us
It's so
feel.
good that you said that because, like, okay, so I like to overcomplicate things. That's my favorite thing to do, and use too many words to the things, right? So, part of me, because this is, I don't have any, I probably would not have a problem writing a whole book if I sat down and started writing. So, the thought of only writing 1,000 words, my brain's like, whoo.
Well, you can write 1,200. If you can't do it in 1,000, 1,300.
But I was thinking, I wanted to make it one of those stories where at the beginning you were just kind of horrified, like, oh my gosh, because they tell you to kind of do something at the beginning to catch people's interest. And I know when I read books, if the first 2 pages are like I might not keep going. So, um, part of me was thinking some of those really traumatic, like, jail experiences that I had, to just like pick out one and
Yeah.
Yes.
start the scene just describing that, and then be like, "Eh? How did she get here, ladies and gentlemen?"
See, I love
And then
that.
actually go
Yeah.
into the story.
Yes,
Yeah.
people like disgust. Oh, people, they like that. Something gives them that gut visceral reaction. Oh my, I would not want to be there. Oh my goodness.
But I
Yeah,
wouldn't take more than 2 pages on that.
right.
And after you give that story, then really dig deep into that mindset that got you there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we need. That's the solution to the problem, was the process that got you
And
to where
then,
you are today. You're touching lives. I'm one of your clients. I've learned from you. You've provided opportunities for me. You're resourceful, connected me with Francine and this retreat opportunity. You're someone of value, of worth. You're treasured. You're part of the Jacksonville um, business scene and music and movie and theater scene. So yeah, we definitely going to enjoy the process, but it is pretty exciting though when you take us with that starting point. Someplace that's ugly and revolting and cringe worthy. And we're like rooting for you. Oh my goodness, get out of there. She's got to get out of that place.
and that you're right, Joanna, because then to see how she's overcome it and come that full circle will make it even more impactful.
The hero's journey. It's been
Yeah.
working for millennia.
And
And
now,
what's great about this, in telling the story and putting this in writing, is I've already done it once. So I've already kind of gone through some of the creative healing and expression for what I went through in song.
Yes.
And so I've already written a song about it. I'm working on it. It hasn't been released yet, but it's written. It's mostly recorded. It's almost done. Almost done, meaning there's a list of 100 more things to do. But um, what's cool about this project is having the written story to back up the song, because a lot of times, people they like to not know the meaning of the song because they can put their own meaning on it. But then it's always kind of fun to find out where the original meaning came from when it came to a song. At least I find it that way. I will fall in love with the song, assign my own meaning, and then be like, wait, what were you thinking when you wrote this?
I just had this vision, Heidi. Your song comes out and you're on a stage singing it. Then when it's over, you're down there signing books where people are buying the book with your story in it to connect it with the recording they just bought of your song.
Yes, and I had a vision too. My vision is on a talk show where they're interviewing you and featuring the book, and then they're saying, "Hey, you want to hear the song that goes with it?" And then you grab the mic and you walk over, and then we have a band, and then you are performing this song. So they are introduced to you because of the book. You got on the show because of the book, and then they get to hear the song.
And
Then we get to see the real Hyde Zalin.
it goes
The you
hand
know,
in hand.
the,
It goes hand in hand.
yes, it does.
Just like I'm a children's book author. And being in this book is going to be my journey of how I went from aircraft electrician in the military to children's book author. Well,
Right.
imagine people reading that. You think they're going to want to give this book to their kid or grandkid?
Oh yeah.
Okay, artists, think about that. Is it time to write your chapter?
Yeah, like what story do you have to tell? How did you get to the point where you were sitting there at your workbench crafting away at your invention, or I don't know, your latest thing you're going to put on Etsy, or your latest painting? Oh my goodness, I just finished a diamond painting. Speaking of painting. But anyway, I'm sorry,
Yay.
sidetracked. It's addicting, people. But you start to tell your story and how you got there, and more people relate to that story. And they say, if you could do it, I bet I could do it.
Hey, I got this
And they
book.
start to
Now I
believe in
have to
themselves.
buy the art to go with the story.
Okay. Did you mean to show us the cover, Francine? We saw the
No,
back.
this
Okay.
this is the last anthology I was in. It came out a couple months ago.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. And so now you're saying, and the art, where does the art piece come in for the book
The
for you?
art, because not for me. I'm
Uh-huh.
talking to the artists out there.
Yes.
Say you're a painter, a songwriter, a sculptor. You write a chapter in our anthology about how you became this artist.
Yeah.
People read that book and they go seek your art.
Right. Oh, I firmly believe that, and I know that because I've happened. I've read books. I heard about someone on a podcast, and I looked them up and started following them on social media. There are so many ways we can cross pollinate,
Yes.
and people can engage with us however they're comfortable engaging, multiple ways. Like, remember that formula,
Yeah.
the seven number of times that we are conversing with people to build that know, like, and trust factor, those 11 touches, and those four different ways that we engage with people.
Right. So, and audience watching now, if you didn't hear that, watch the beginning of this recording when it comes out. Minesh gave us an amazing description of exactly what we're talking about. So, if you didn't see the beginning, watch the replay and let us know in the comments that you watch it. Little hashtag replay. Let us know you were there.
All
I would
right.
love to.
So I feel like, I mean, you cleared up for me the things that I was thinking about. First of all, I was like, well, what is this 1,000 words going to look like? So thank you, Francine. My basic structure of what I was thinking about, you kind of confirmed that I could go with that. That looks good. And Joanna, you confirmed that I should throw in a little drama and spice at the beginning to get everybody hooked into it. So that gives me some great meat to go in there and start playing with. How does the story get written? So what about you, Joanna? What are you thinking about telling a story about?
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with using this as a vehicle to promote my musical. So, Precious Gems, the musical, tells the story of Ruby Wilson, who always dreamed of singing and dancing on stage. And she finally achieves her dream at the age of 50 as a lounge singer in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So, when I tell the story, I still think what I want to share what it's like when she's in the dressing room about to go on stage and to really involve our senses with what the room looks like, what it smells like, the taste in her mouth, what her body is feeling and doing, her heart, her racing thoughts, flashing memories, boop, 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 here and there, that to tell her story a little bit. And then she hears the beat. Here's her song. She hears, 30 seconds of stage. Someone comes to escort her from the dressing room to the stage. And then it ends out on a happy note when she's in the spotlight and lets out that first note. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And just, whoa, captivate, So I think that, yeah, I think I want, let's be with Ruby
And you
the
know what?
moment she's living her dream.
What's really special, audience, is that if you join the Believe Retreat on the Saturday night of the retreat, you get to see a part of Joanna's show. So,
Or the whole thing? Do we get to see the whole thing this time or just part?
well,
Just about, just about. Yes, just about. As far as the one woman show, which is a stepping stone to a fully cast production, 13 cast members, 7-piece band, so I'm still giving you a taste of the one woman show. Yeah, a couple extra songs from when I did it the first time. And you know what I love, ladies, when we get together, when we show up places live, it's incredible because when I performed that show January 30th at the Performing Arts Center there in Green Cove Springs, um, that's where we met someone who introduced us to one of our partners,
yes.
to Doc, and who promotes the Ritz Theater in Jacksonville. So just showing up and showing out, that visibility, it works. Let us be a part of your network. Your network equals your net worth. And
Oh, I love
we're
that.
we're going to help do. We have so much exciting networking going on with like-minded and like-hearted people. See, we're going to help you get your story together, just like we did with Heidi.
I'm like searching really quick. I just did a shout out for Lorna at the Asbury Arts Dance Studio.
Yes.
And I mean, Doc's always hanging out at the Ritz, so we could probably like share
I
out
know.
if I can find
Tag,
it.
like, post, tag. I'm going to add a comment to my Facebook feed, just tagging and liking people. And hey, here we are. Check it out. I love our little reels, our little YouTube reels. We're using the social media to the max.
And check out our channel. Please subscribe, like some of our videos. And
Believe,
the
retreat.
best part about it is when you come in as a collaborator, you could be in this room with us. You can have your own video on our channel. We could stream to your channel. We could boost all of our audiences up together because we're all in this together.
And I also think it's cool because, I mean, we get to watch Joanna. I've been watching Joanna for longer than the rest of you. But, I mean, she's incredible. And what she's been working on and seeing the evolution of the story of Ruby and where she started and how she's building it up from here. If you're one of those people that are just getting started, you've got this idea, you're like, I have this great musical that I'm going to do. And you're just like, oh my goodness, that's huge. You could be hanging out here with Joanna and she's a few steps ahead of you. And man, she is some amazing inspiration to watch every week. So that's the kind of thing that in this anthology collaboration is going to happen with more amazing people than just Joanna, just Francine, just me. It's going to be this whole group of amazing, inspiring people, and we're all going to be working together to be the tide, raise all the boats, all together.
It's working. It's happening. And what a cool bonus. I can't wait to see who checks out the bonus, you know? It's tell me again, remind me what we're calling this session right now.
This
Gotta,
is called
Right?
the Idea Incubator.
yes, idea incubator.
And I am,
Oh,
oh,
I have an idea.
ooh, I love ideas.
No pun intended. Pun absolutely intended.
So, one thing that I like to do to play when I'm brainstorming with people is the yes and game.
Yes.
So
Oh,
comedians do it a lot. You know, they imply something ridiculous and then the other person just kind of goes along with it and then they just keep playing back and forth. But when you're brainstorming, your judge sometimes wants to get in the way and be like, that's a dumb idea. And sometimes you might say it out loud. So it like hurts other people's feelings even though they might not say it out loud. But so then what happens is they just stop giving ideas. They just
Yeah.
stay quiet and they're like, so does anybody have any other ideas? And everybody in the room's like, not saying a thing because you're gonna tell me it's dumb. So this game is working on eliminating that. We're not going to look at, what's bad about it. Instead, we're going to focus on what is that 10% of this that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And so the way that the game works is somebody has an idea, and then the next person says, yes, what I like about that idea is, and then you fill in what you like about the idea. But then usually that idea will spark another idea in you. And so then you share that idea, and then the next person says, yes. And what I like about that idea is, so what should we idea brainstorm on for a second around this? What could we do that's really helpful for people out there right now?
You know what? I'd like to propose something. Um,
Okay.
I'm. This is even for us, you know, and we'll go through it. Having the power of having a Google page and getting
what,
reviews.
what is a
Ooh,
Google page?
Right. So, like when you Google something, let's say um, when you're Googling a subject or when you're on Google Maps, you want to see what's around you that's with your level of interest. Then we can have like the Believe Retreat Google page because I have a Google page for Matana, the Performing Arts Collective, with 10 5-star reviews. You know, Heidi, do you have a Google page?
I do. And so I'm going to take off of your idea and say, yes, Joanna. What I like about that idea is that when you have a Google listing, it does get you a bunch more visibility, especially if you're doing posting on a regular basis. And it shows up on Google Maps. And what that sparks for me is that wouldn't actually be that much more difficult to add on to the other stuff that we're already doing because we could just reuse a lot of the same content. Reusing content is my idea.
Yes, and I love reusing content, but I'm very intrigued by this Google page thing because that's a platform I'm not on yet. I am on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I'm joining this new platform that isn't even launched yet. We'll have to talk about that soon. But how do you use a Google page? I don't understand it. Tell me more.
Okay, and so I will, if I will, because what I like about that idea is how you see the value in maximizing your presence with a Google page. So this is a great thing that happens with a Google page because when we have a Believe Retreat um, Google page, people may not remember our heidselincoaching.com/Believe Retreat, you know, URL, but if they just type in Believe Retreat, or Believe Retreat, Jacksonville, Florida. Boom, the page comes up. We've got pictures, we have reviews. How many guests have we had on here? 25? Every single guest who's been on our show, let's ask them to have a little review because we brought some creativity and fun into their life. You see? Yeah, and then people see, well, we are somebody. Yes, you will come to Jacksonville to the Embassy Suites at Bay Meadows because we've got a Google page. So it just boosts our presence. And it's a shortcut for people who may not remember the details, but they've met us, they've heard about us. Because that basically, if you do a Google search for Matana, you're going to see our Google page. So just if a person Google searches us or the Believe Retreat, now they have a source, and we connect it to our website. We link our website right there, and then they see a lot of the beautiful content that we create, that we use for our thumbnails, all of our fun pictures, the flyers for our guests. We just update it once a week, and then people can see the beautiful graphics that we've created about our guests and the topics that we cover. All of that can
Okay.
be on that Google
I
page.
propose that somebody teach me how to do this. Hi, Tater. Somebody teach me how to do this so we could teach everybody else how to do it. Because I guarantee if I don't know how, there's other people out there who don't know how. And this is one way we could help boost them up is
Yes.
teaching them about this.
Wow,
So
this
that
idea
means
is
you and I
really
are going to have a
evolving.
Zoom, or all of the three of us. Let's have Zoom and we'll create it together with a share
Let's
screen.
do that. But how about right now, let's end this idea incubator and invite everybody on Thursday, June 19th at 4 p.m. I put the link in the comments for the meetup to attend the idea incubator. Do you have an idea that you want to come into the room and talk about it? Maybe even do a yes and game or just get some feedback. Because the one thing that I want to circle back to the beginning, Heidi said just talking about it gave her the chills. But I could tell the more she talked, the more at ease she started to feel about it. Sometimes when we talk about these raw stories, it's hard, but being in a supportive environment, maybe not in a live stream, but just in a Zoom room with a few people, we could help
Yeah,
you.
trust me, I came a long way before I was able to make that little live stream confession right there.
But, just the three of us and maybe a few more people come in and tell your story in a minute or two and gets that positive feedback, the affirmation saying, oh my God, yes, people need to hear this. And let you know that we're here if for the mechanics of it. You need an editor, we'll find you an editor. You're not really good with writing, we could help you with that. But come in the idea incubator and let us tell you your idea is good and you are ready to be in the book.
Perfect. This is a
Because
perfect way to wrap
sometimes
up.
you just need somebody else to get you out of your own head and your own judge that's just telling you the wrong story.
That's it. This judge told me I couldn't do it for years until finally I had somebody tell me, well, it's not really that bad. Why don't you send it to an editor?
Yay.
And my whole writing career started right there.
And you know what? The truth is, the theme of our retreat, it's because you had to believe in yourself, in your ideas, in your dreams, and the desire of your heart. This is real. That is a perfect way to wrap it up, isn't it,
Yes,
ladies?
yes, it is. Yes, you can.
That's right. Yes, you can. From
You
the head to the heart
can.
to the hands. Look at Stormy. Yes, you can with her little paws.
She's
Beautiful lady.
extremely pliable right now because it's thundering, so she'll do whatever I want her to.
Don't put me down.
All right, it was 5:30 Eastern Daylight Time. It's been awesome being with you ladies for the past hour.
Yes.
My Believe sisters, thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
for
Bye.
treat
See you
today.
next
See you guys
week.
all
See
in
you
the
Thursday.
online community.
See you Thursday at